very humbled to be here around women that have taken the step to be entrepreneurs, that are already leaders, and they are committed to so many things in their lives. I want to just say one word about my relationship with Natalie too, before I start. One of these moments of clarity that you have in life happened to me a year and a half ago, where I was LinkedIning, as I usually do every day. And I came across Natalie's name, and it was connected to Momentum. For you who doesn't know what Momentum is, it's an organization that empowers Jewish women to reconnect with their values. I thought I contacted her. I just said, I'm going to reach out to her. Let's see what's happened. There was something that happens only in moments of clarity, right? We just clicked. It was a match made in heaven. And we started sharing vision about what could the network be in the future, and which place should Judaism should take in the network. As women leaders and entrepreneurs, we also are Jewish in our work. We also are Jewish every day of our life. How do I bring all that into my business, into the way I communicate with my clients, into the way I envision where do I want to go? So stay tuned, because the network is working very, very hardly on that. And I'm pretty sure we're going to give you something very unique in that respect. Today, it's Women's International Day. I think for me, it's International Day for women every day of my life. We should celebrate ourselves every day of our lives. You're mothers, you're entrepreneurs, you're so many roles. And we're fighting very hard to be good in every aspect of our feminine role. And what I want to share with you is something very personal that I will share at the end, and something that we know, but it's good to be reminded. We're entering in Purim very, very soon. We're in the month of Adar. Hopefully you're happier than the previous month. It's what we're supposed to be doing. Be very, very joyful this month. And there is this woman called Esther, who started in life not very easily, actually. She was an orphan, Esther. She was raised by her uncle, and she eventually had to marry the king, non-Jewish king, obviously. Not very nice man, apparently, the Megillah says. She didn't reveal her heritage. She concealed her Judaism. She didn't put her Judaism out until she knew that there was a plot to kill the Jews. Does this ring a bell at all in history, this news to us? So when she heard this was going to happen, she said, I have to do something about it. And she recognized that she was the one that had to do something about it. And she had to go and plead to the king. The Megillah says that it was a dangerous situation for her, because she had to commit an act of transgression to address the king. And apparently she was protected by angels. The fact of the matter is, despite all that, she recognized she had to do something. And this is what we call the Esther moment. The moment of clarity and the moment of truth, where you see so clearly what you have to do that nothing is going to stop you, even if your life is at risk. And her bravery, Esther's bravery, earns her a spot among the 7 women prophets. Quite an Oscar winning for Esther for doing what she did. And she's remembered as the one responsible for the deliverance of the people of Israel. Courage, fear, chutzpah. What does the Judaism tell us about all this? Of course, it takes courage to step up when it is needed. And it takes courage for a Jewish woman to be an entrepreneur. No question about it. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is a decision. You decide that what is at stake, that something is more important than your own fear. And then you decide to do it. You still are scared, but your bravery comes from the fact that you recognize that this is more important than your fear. And in Judaism, This is called Sacred Chutzpah, and it's a superpower, girls. And it's a superpower that all Jewish women have. And this superpower, I'm going to give you a few lines of what it means in practice. It means to dare to speak when the world wants you silent. It means to take action when others won't. It means to try when they say it is impossible. It means to persevere in times of doubt. To be yourself when it is easier to conform. To stand tall when made to feel small. To believe when it all feels hopeless. To shine your light in the face of darkness. As Jewish women entrepreneurs, I want you to think for a second about those moments where you could have turned right, but you turned left instead, even if you're scared to do that. That Esther moment of yours, what did it brought? If you had taken the right turn, would you be in the same place today? I'm pretty sure all of you took the most difficult path because you're entrepreneurs. I want to show you something that maybe is very familiar to all of you. A lot of you have kind of a background in coaching, psychology, dealing with improving people's life one way or another. It's a well-known concept. The concept of getting out of the comfort zone, it's called. And if you see, there are 4 circles here. The biggest one being growth, and the smallest one being comfort zone. Now, there's nothing wrong about staying in the comfort zone. I mean, you can feel secure and in control, you know, in your own familiar setup, in your own familiar town, in your own familiar job, in your own familiar everything. Nothing wrong with that. The question is this going to lead you to any growth at all? And the dreams live not in the comfort zone. The dreams live in the growth zone, which means to get there, you have to overcome your fears, you have to learn, and then you will achieve. And this is exactly what Esther did, in my opinion. Esther was very comfortable, so to speak, hiding her Jewish identity, being what she was supposed to be living at that time, and she could have stayed there. She could have decided that it was safer for her and definitely for her life to remain on her comfort zone. And yet she overcame her fears. She learned how to approach the king. And she went to save the Jewish people. She recognized, if you see on top of the 4th circle, her purpose, her mission, what she had to do in life. I want you to think about, where are you today? As entrepreneurs, but not only as entrepreneurs, also as women, as Jewish women. October 8th is not October 6th. Maybe on October 6th, you felt that, you know, between comfort and fear, I would prefer to stay here. And maybe on October 8th, you decided this was not good anymore and you had to go for something else. And maybe your entrepreneurial adventure, you're in the fear zone because you don't want to go for this segment of clients that probably would be very interested in your product. Or maybe you're thinking about, you know, whether or not talking to this person that you heard about that could help you. I encourage you to go all the way, because the worst thing that can happen is that you get a no as a response. So now I want to tell you about my own Esther moment, one that is very, very revealing in my life, because it led me to make a decision, quite drastic, I believe. And I want to read it because it's something I shared in another context not long ago. And it has to do a lot about my professional career. I've been in corporate world for so many years. And what I decided to do not long ago, and what that brought to me. I've been in the corporate world for over 30 years, multinationals, different countries, different cultures, different clients, worldwide, different levels of organization, senior roles, executive roles, working for C-suite, passionate about challenges, and becoming a real expert in transformation for growth. Back in 2016, my community in Madrid was facing many challenges. among others, creating unity without uniformity. My educational background and my core expertise in the corporate world served me well to navigate the complexities of a small European community in the diaspora, the resistance for change between the historic members of the community, and the empathy needed to integrate the difference. But it was also facing my own challenges. I was immersed in my corporate career, struggling to balance my professional life with raising an Orthodox family, Shomeret Shabbat and Shomeret Mitzvot. I started taking diverse groups of women to Israel with momentum, thinking, let's see what happens. It was magic for them and for me. Momentum became the connector between what I was and what I could be, a catalyzer of change in my community, using the skills Hashem sent me through the corporate world. I was helping now to transform for growth the lives of Jewish women and my own life. I became the connector, became the connector between what I was and what I could be, a catalyzer of change in my community using the skills acquired in the corporate world. My momentum adventure has taken me to be part of their board of directors as of October 2024. I am the first European board member honored with this position, and all because of my Esther moment. I recognized it was more important to bring unity without uniformity in my community than my own fear. So ask yourself as entrepreneurs, what is more important than your own fear? Where do you have to display your chutzpah? The prize for you will be growth, both personal and professional. And I want to leave you with one sentence. I had a student, because I used to teach in my old business school at one point, a very bright girl with a very difficult upbringing. And she was studying thanks to a grant that she received from her country. And she was always telling me, you know, if you knew how hard it was for me to get to here, it's a dream come true. I don't want to waste any second. Every time I hear anything that you or the other professors tell me, I just absorb and I write and I go back home and I do and I do and I do. And she said to me a sentence that remained engraved in my mind. She said to me, if people are doubting how far you can go so far that you can't hear them anymore. So with that, thank you very much, Natalie, and thank you very much, everyone.